Spring has arrived in Germany, so it's time for motorcyclists to get out of the house and onto the open road. Some of them are looking for their first ever motorbike. Melanie Jacobi from Berlin has had a motorcycle license for 2 years, but until now she's only ridden as a passenger on her boyfriend's bike. Today she's going for her first solo ride. She's both excited and nervous. Melanie thinks people need experiences like that as they spice up day-to-day life. Melanie's got a brand new bike for the big day. It's a Suzuki with a top speed of 135 kilometers per hour. It's a good bike for beginners. Melanie can't wait to take it for a spin. The police are also preparing for the new motorcycling season at their training centre north of Berlin. They teach bikers how to ride safely. Thousands of motorcyclists die on Europe's roads every year. Daniel Gross and Steffen Benke know why. Daniel says people go too fast on roads they're not familiar with. Steffen says if there's gravel on the ground, you have to go through it. People often don't know what to do in that situation. But I say if you brake, you'll definitely crash. Motorcyclists have to practice regularly, but at the start of the season, they're coming in cold. Steffen says people go too fast too soon. They make mistakes because mentally they haven't got used to how it all works again yet. The dangers are one reason why some motorcyclists seek divine intervention. People at this special church service for motorbike riders are aware of the risks they're taking. Biker Nadia says when you ride a motorbike yourself, you realize how much fun it is and how it lets you switch off. She says she has to concentrate more riding a motorbike than driving a car, and that means she doesn't think about anything else. Nadia likes driving down country roads because she enjoys navigating the corners and discovering new places. She says it's not the same experience in a car. The members of the congregation pray for help from above. They ask God to give them the skills they need to ride their motorcycles safely, along with a feeling for when they need to hit the brakes or the gas. And they ask God to protect them from invisible dangers. Priest Bernd Schade is another motorbike lover. He holds services in memory of bikers who have lost their lives. He says he's already lost 2 people this year. They were young and inexperienced. He tells his followers to drive slowly and to think about what they're doing when they're on the road. Apart from their own safety, he wants them to drive in a way that doesn't put others in danger. In the autumn, the congregation will meet again and ride in memory of those who are no longer with them. Motorbikes aren't the only vehicles for having fun on 2 wheels. There are also mopeds. The Simson Schwalbe was produced in East Germany back in the 1960s, and they have a growing number of fans. Daniel Schulz is the proud owner of 7 Schwalbe mopeds. He has to give them a tune-up at least once a week. Daniel had some problems with this one last time. He thinks they're down to the carburetor. The Schwalbe is not a complicated machine, and with replacement parts, Daniel can fix the moped on his own. Daniel says when there's something wrong with one of the mopeds, he forgets everything else and keeps looking until he finds the problem. Up until now, he's never failed to get the vehicles back in full working order. The next day, Daniel is meeting with friends for a trip. He has to get the moped fixed, even if that means working into the night. Finally, Daniel is on his way out of the city. He's arranged to meet up with fellow Schwalbe lovers, and there are plenty of them, both in the east and west of Germany. Daniel calls the Schwalbe the Vespa of the East. He says it used to be mainly women who drove them, but now there are plenty of male owners too. The group is heading to a nearby river. Daniel, Marco, Steffi and Paul live for days like this. Steffi even says riding her Schwalbe has a therapeutic effect.
Eigentlich kann ich komplett abschalten und einfach nur fahren und
She says she can switch off completely and just drive and enjoy her surroundings. It's relaxing for her. Daniel agrees. He says it's about letting off steam. And Paul is happy to get out of the city. But accidents do happen, especially with vehicles as old as these. Daniel had a classmate who was going 50 kilometers per hour when her rear tire blew. She crashed and was in hospital for a long time. Daniel knows there's always danger waiting around the corner. But Marco doesn't think about that. He says if you worry about it too much, it will happen to you. That's one way to deal with the fear. The police prefer good training. Good braking is a vital skill, as is maintaining good balance while turning or making evasive maneuvers. Every curve or corner creates the possibility of having an accident, as do potholes and objects on the road. Motorcyclists are 20 times more likely to be killed in a traffic collision than car drivers. Stefan says motorcyclists have to react to situations, and that takes time. And in that time, they can lose their bike. When he goes into a curve, he works out what could go wrong, so that he doesn't waste time thinking about it later. Daniel Gross says little things make the difference, like looking exactly where you're going. He says some people try to learn how to read the streets, but he doesn't drive like that. He looks all the way down the road and analyzes what's in front of him. He's developed a sense for certain situations where he tries to work out what other drivers are going to do. And he says that has saved him before. Even with the protective clothing, falling off hurts and leaves you helpless, because there's nothing else surrounding you. That's why motorcyclists have to train, but beginners have to stay safe too. Melanie Jacobi has only ridden 20 kilometers.
ihr seid ja schon da.
Her mother is the first to see the new Suzuki.
Nee, das glaube ich jetzt nicht. Hey, meine Süße. Es ist
She can't believe Melanie's bought her own bike.
Grüß dich, mein Süßer. Es ist schau.
Ja.
Melanie is thrilled with how it drives.
Bin sehr begeistert.
Bremsen auch gut?
Wir bremsen auch gut, ja. Bremsen tut's auch sehr
And she reassures her mother that the brakes are working nicely too.
Macht Spaß.
Für den Einstieg
Her
reicht
mother's
für
still a little worried though. The bike's top speed is low compared to that of some other motorcycles. But it's more than fast enough for Monika Jacobi.
Weißt du, ich bin
She's used to driving a small car. Melanie's boyfriend René says that other motorbikes can get up past 300 kilometers per hour. He thinks the bike is perfect for someone like Melanie.
zum Eingewöhnen.
Monika's not convinced. She's been around bikers all her life.
Mein Vater war ein
Her father rode a motorcycle, and so did his father before him. The most important thing for Monika is that her daughter gets through the season in one piece.
kommt gut durch die Saison.
Melanie's excited about getting around on two wheels. Like all motorcyclists, she'll need skill and concentration to get the most out of her new bike.